What's going on, everybody? It's Seth with MK Carpet Cleaning, and we are in Archdale, North Carolina, and we're going to be doing a cleaning and buffing of our hardwood floor, and also going to be removing some wax here in the entryway to this little section here. As you can tell, there's a lot of wax buildup and residue buildup in this entryway, and we're going to talk about our process and how we removed it, and some issues that were underneath the wax that, as you can see here, came to light. Obviously, the issue is that the floor in this area here needs to be restained, but we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. Alright, as I mentioned earlier, these floors had a lot of wax right here in the entryway, a lot of paint marks, and so we had to come in and kind of remove the wax before we even started cleaning the floors. And it was just in this one entryway. There was some residue in one of the other areas, as you'll see here in just a few minutes. And in this video you're watching right now, we've actually already removed some of the wax. We actually started off with the white pad, and then we went to a red pad, and then we finally realized that it was going to take forever, and we just used a maroon pad. And we used it wet, so we weren't doing any type of abrading. We were just doing a really deep clean. And with the stripper that we put down, combined that with the maroon pad, it came up quite easily. You know, we just had to go over it twice, I think, after that point. And you can't really tell right now because the floors are wet, but it doesn't look that bad with the wax removed. But once we removed all the wax and it dried, you could really tell where the stain had gradually over time come off on the floors. And this is usually what happens whenever you don't get your floors refinished every so often. It'll just eventually be bare wood and expose the stain to all the elements and eventually wear off. So that's why you always want to make sure you continuously, every 2 to 3 years, 5 years, you can get away with it, refinish the floors, put a new finish on them, because all finish does is really just protect the hardwood floors and protects the stain in them, and it'll really give your wood floors a long life. And like that said right there, you can really tell the difference looking at the floors with wax have been removed. And this right in here is not any wax, it's just a lot of residue that's built up, and it came off quite easily. I think we only had to go over it twice, and we really just used the scrubber. And what I was pointing to right there was just some permanent staining in the hardwood floors. And as we come in here, there's not really a lot to see here, just a lot of surface scratches in the floors. You're not going to get those out unless you abrade the floors and refinish them. So we did not do that here. The only thing that we did here was just clean the floors and remove the wax in this one area. Alright, as you can see now, the floors are completely dry, and you can tell now how much the floors need to be stained right here in the entryway. It's quite obvious that there's a lot of wear and tear over time, and the stain has been removed. So we're actually going to try in a couple weeks to put some stain down to see if we can get it to match up as best we can. But like I said, this is usually what happens whenever you don't continuously over time put finish down on the floors. Now these homeowners here, they had just recently purchased the home, so they were kind of it wasn't really anything having to do with them. This is the condition of the home that whenever they bought it from the people, so they're just trying to make some improvements here and there and get the floors looking as best they can. But again, what I'm pointing at is just basically the need for stain there, and we're going to try to match it up as best we can. As we come in here, you can tell that all this residue in here has been removed. It came up quite easily. Some of those dark spots, you're not going to get those out in the floors. And we're finishing up in this room in there, cleaning. We kind of moved the furniture out of the way, cleaned that area over there, and now we're cleaning this area. What I'm pointing there is just some surface scratches. And I mentioned earlier that the way to get those out, as long as they're in the finish, they'll come out if you abrade the floor. And our process whenever we abrade floors, basically what we're doing, is we're just taking off the finish, the old finish that's on there, and preparing it for the new finish that we're going to be putting down. And so what that does a lot of times is it removes the scratches, and even some of the scratches that are in the wood that are not in the finish. After we abrade the floors and put the new finish down, as long as you go with like a satin finish, or even a semi-gloss, sometimes you can hardly see any of the scratches in there. It'll cover up most of them. Now, if you get down pretty close to it, you'll be able to see it then. But that's what's really neat about this process, is we're not sanding the floors, so you're going to be able to be back in your home the same day. You'll be able to walk on them in a couple of hours with our process, and it's really convenient for the customer. And what I'm doing now is I'm just basically taking the white pad and buffing out the floors, trying to bring out that natural shine. If you watch some of our previous videos, I talked about how whenever you do a deep cleaning of the floors, it kind of leaves the floor a little bit dull. So we always include in our cleaning process a buffing, just because you want that to be done to kind of bring out that natural finish, that's in the floor already. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I am Seth with MK Carpet Cleaning. If you got any questions, feel free to leave them, or even email us at mkcleaning18@gmail.com.